Welcome back. My name is Sean. This is my 2 cent. And the next movie I am going to review, I was going to give me a piece of gum, but the last time it made my mouth water too bad. So I had to chew it later. But next movie I'm going to review is New Moon. I just did Twilight, so if you didn't get a chance to see my review for Twilight, please take a look. Go to the next go look at that video and then come back to this one, because Twilight was the first one in the series, followed by New Moon. So yeah, so if you haven't seen the Twilight saga, like if you see New Moon, if I get a review for New Moon and this is your first one, like you didn't see Twilight, you might not be lost in the sauce, but you should start at Twilight and work your way down. Anywho, so the same characters in New Moon were in Twilight, and I just give you the rundown. Um, so Kristen Stewart is Bella, Robert Pattinson is Edward, Taylor Lautner is Jacob, Ashley Green Alice, Kellen Lutz Emmett, Nikki Reed Rosalie, Jackson Watburn Jasper, Elizabeth is Reeser is Esme, Peter Fasinelli is Carlisle, Anna Kendrick is Jessica, Billy Burke is Charlie, Birmingham is Billy Black, Michael Welch is Mike Newton, Christian Serratos is Angela, Justin Chun is Eric, Rachel LaFar Victoria, I believe she was the same one, but it might be a different one. Cam Gigandet is James. Okay, James was killed in Twilight, so take him out. Edie Gathedra, he's in it. Laurent and Sarah. I don't think her mom was in that one. Okay, so in New Moon, the movie starts with it being Bella's birthday, and for some reason now she's all of a sudden she's talking about her aging, because she know vampires don't age. And again, I told you guys in Twilight, she wanted to be a part of this. She wanted to be a vampire. She wanted to come up with any kind of excuse possible to be turned into a vampire. She wanted that life. She didn't care what it took. She did not care. At this point, and Edward, okay, so she wanted to be a vampire, and Edward was fighting against her. He was fighting it tooth and nail, like, no, you don't want this life. I'm not trying to give you this life. I'm not going to bite you. Like, he adamantly told her he was not about to turn her into no vampire. And so all of a sudden, she's worried about her age, and her dad and mom collaborated and gave her a picture book and a camera. Her mom wanted her to make like a scrapbook of her kiddos and her friends in school and stuff like that. So it's her birthday, and I mean, like, the movie started out, she was thinking, she saw this lady, she said it was her grandma. But when the camera flipped around, it was her. She was old and Elwood was still young. So she was really, she's been on this, I need to turn, you need to turn me into a vampire thing. She's been on that. Like, she don't want to age. She don't want to get old. And she told him, you're not going to want me when I'm a grandma. Okay? So they're at school, and Alice wants to throw her a party, and so she was like, okay, please, she was like, okay, because they wanted to celebrate her. And of course, since Edward was with her, they welcomed her in. So she goes to their house that evening. Well, actually, before that evening, right? Before that evening, they watched this movie where he killed himself and all this old crazy mess. I think it was Romeo and Juliet and stuff. And so she was telling him about being celibate. She don't like being celibate, but of course he's not trying to go there with her because he know being a vampire he could kill her and all this other stuff. So he was holding off with everything, but she was coming at him with everything. She could come at him with everything except the kitchen sink. And I want to say, if she could throw the kitchen sink at him, she would throw the kitchen sink at him. She was coming at him with everything. Like, she don't like being celibate. She want a relationship. She want a relationship, right? But she didn't want Mike or Eric or whatever, who she could have possibly had a relationship with in that aspect. But this full grown vampire know he would kill you if he crossed the line. So, see, she wanted both ways. She wanted to do what she wanted to do, but do it with him. And he was fighting against all that. So, they was talking about the Volturi, for a minute, and how, he didn't know if he would be able to save her when James had beat her. And so, had he not been able to save her, he was going to go to the Volturi and tell them to take him out. I don't want that kind of love. Don't ever love me that much, because trust me, it ain't going down. But anywho, so now they're at the Cullen's house. Everybody dressed up and giving her presents and all this stuff. And she opened up the airline ticket or whatever, get a paper cut, blood falls to the floor. Now the blood is in the air. These are vampires. So, everybody's like, oh. Well, Jackson have not been, away from human blood as long as the rest of them have. So, of course, he tried to charge. So, now Ella pushes him and trying to get her away from him, pushes her into to these vases. So, I'm sure she's cut her from the vases, cut from the paper cut. And now everybody's looking at her, so they leave, right? So, Carlisle is stitching her up, and she was like, I never wanted a party, and blah blah blah, and Carlisle tell her, he like be doing good stuff, even if it's even though once he die, he damn the hell, he still like doing good. She was like, damn the hell, like there's no way possible, you're good. And he was like, she said, oh, is that why he don't want to change me? Is that why he don't want to change me? So in the car on the way home, Edward is over it, because he's like, yeah, I'm in love with you, but it's dangerous for you. Little things like this that happen is dangerous. And so she was like, is that why Carlisle told me why you won't change me? And Carlisle didn't tell you that. Carlisle just said they damn when they die. He didn't say that's why he won't change you. He said, if you were in his predicament, if you were in his shoes, could you do that? Could you do that? And so so she was like, when I'm an old lady, you're not gonna want me and all this stuff. I mean, she was just coming up with everything. So he pulled up and get out the car, and he was like, Bella, do I not, you're not making any sense. Like, I love you. You're not making any sense. And so she was like, well, since it's my birthday, can you just kiss me? Okay, so he kissed, and then he leave, right? He go back home. Okay, so she's printing out the pictures that they took and all this stuff, with her arm bandaged all up from being cut up. See, she cut her hand on a paperclip, but when he pushed her, she cut up all on her arm from the vases and stuff that she broke from Edward's push to get her away from Jasper. So she go to school, none of them there. And she's looking, no, none of them is there. So she go back home, and he pulls up, and he was like, let me talk to you. So he tells her, hey, they're gonna leave. And he was like, no, not me and my family, we leaving. And so she was like, when you say we, and he was like, me and my family. And she was like, Elwood, what happened? It's not your fault. And he was like, yeah, but it could have got worse. And basically, you not understanding. It could have been worse than what it was. And plus, Carlisle's supposed to be 10 years older than he'll look. So people are starting to worry, which was a lie. people starting to question and blah blah blah, which it wasn't true, but he just had to tell her something. So he tell her, it'll be like you never met me at all. I promise you, I won't be back. And he broke her down. He broke her down. So he leave, and she standing there, and all of a sudden she get lost in the woods, and she trip and fall because she's very clumsy. She slipping, trips and fall, not slip, trips and fall, and just continue to lay there. So her dad is calling. They got people, a search party that he forming, a search party to look for. And then Sam Neely is in the woods because he's a vampire. He is a werewolf, and they protect the land. And he sees her, and he carries her and back to Charlie. And so now she's going through this great depression. She go to school and stuff, but she don't sit with the kids. She don't want nothing to do with nobody. She just sitting at the table by herself. She is going through it. At night, she's crying and screaming and hollering, and her dad is getting up, waking her up out of her sleep, and, trying to console her. It's hurting her. It's tearing her up. And, she goes and try to email Alice, and it said return, sender not available. Like, she is going through it. And I think she went through 3-4 months of doing nothing, just depressed, just doing absolutely nothing. So her dad was like, you know what, I'm going to send you back home, send you back to Jacksonville, because he's not coming back. And she was like, I know. And so she said, I'm going. The last time he had told her, he was like, why don't you reach out to some of your other friends? Like, reach out to Jacob. And so this is how her and Jacob hooked up, right? He said, why don't you reach out to Jacob? He's going through a bit of a tough time, because actually he have the gene to turn to the wolf, to a werewolf. So he have that gene, and he was going through like his little phase or whatever. And so her dad was like, why don't you talk to Jacob? Why don't you try to be there for him? Blah blah blah. So Elwood is gone, and her and Jacob started hanging out, and she was like, she said it was making it feel a little better. And she went and got these motorcycles, and Jacob tore them apart and built them back together, just so they could spend time together. Because now she feel like she need to do some dangerous stuff, right? So if she do some dangerous stuff, able to show back up and all this. So it's like she had a motive behind that was stupid. She gonna go do this dangerous stuff, and he gonna show up. So her and Jacob was spending time together, and so Sam was waiting on Jacob to fully turn into the werewolf, because he knew he was gonna join the pack. And so Jacob was going through his moment, and what happened was, okay, so Jacob, Bella, and Mike went to the movies. And so, because Jacob had let it be known he had feelings for her, he let it be known. And so she was like, I'm never going to run right. I'm not a car. You can't just fix me. She's in love with Elwood. And I don't know how Jacob didn't see that. Like, she was really, it never was to me, it never was a choice between Jacob and Elwood. It never was a choice. Because from day one, she was madly in love with Elwood. Right? Now that she is hanging with Jacob, she's only hanging with Jacob due to the fact that Elwood is gone. Like, it never was he's going to take the place of Elwood, because her heart, mind, soul, body, everything was hooked with Elwood. Elwood just wasn't there. Jacob is just passing time. He's just trying. When Jacob entered the picture, it was really basically to, like, get her to have some human experiences. You know what I'm saying? Because it never was he's taking Edward's place. No, that never was that. It never was that. So she was spending time with Jacob, and Jacob was telling people that she was his girlfriend and all this stuff. But she was basically letting him know, like, I'm not a project. Like, I am where I am. I am, she didn't just come out and say I love him. She was like, I'm just not a project. I'm never gonna run straight. So you can't fix me like that. So basically it was just really her spending time with him. Well, he developed feelings for her, and maybe had Edward never came back in the picture, she probably could have liked Jacob. But the thing of it is, she saw how Jacob lived. She know how she lived. The Cullens don't live nothing like neither one of them. So when it comes down to it, in my opinion, she wanted to live that Cullen lifestyle. She wanted to be a vampire. She wanted everything that came along with that. She knew how Jacob lived. She knew that. She didn't want that. She didn't want no parts of that. But she wanted his friendship, right? And so they just started really spending time together and stuff like that. Like, to me, I never seen where the lines crossed. Yeah, she loved Jacob as a friend. I truly believe that I never saw where it could have went a different way. And so he came. Victoria had came back, and they had been running her away. The werewolves had been running her away. And so Jacob had told her, like, Victoria's back. She keep coming back. And he said, he was like, we don't know what she want. So Bella was like, she want me. She want me because, Laurent got killed. No. Yeah, because Laurent got killed. How Laurent got killed is Bella was still on one of these old, in New Moon, she was on one of these old, she just got on my nerve in New Moon. So she goes into the woods and she tried to do whatever she could to bring Edward back. Edward is not even around. So she goes and put herself in harm's way. Any chance she got, thinking that was going to pull him back. And this man is not even around. So she goes to the woods, and there goes Laurent. She look around, there goes Laurent. So Laurent is easing up to it. He was like, oh, Victoria sent me to see if you still were, the Cullens' little pet. And they not here. They not around. I went by their house and they were gone. And Victoria's gonna hate me. Victoria's not gonna like it. But you're so mouth-watering. You're so tempting. She won't like it, but I'll make it quick, right? So she was like, you helped us. Well, what are you doing? You helped us. And then Jacob and them, of course, since they have turned into wolves, they turn around and they see him. Laurent, he turn around and see the werewolves. So now, of course, since they natural enemies, they ready to kill Laurent. And so she runs home. Dad, those are not bears, those are wolves. And so, now he was like, what? Why are you in the woods, Bella? And she was like, those are wolves. So him and Harry already know what it is. He know that it's Jacob and them that's out there. He know that Jacob and them are wolves. He know, but Charlie didn't know that. And so they go to the woods and they chasing the werewolves, and Victoria's playing with them and stuff. And so Harry ended up having a heart attack. So she goes, because she saw them cliff diving, which is jumping off the cliff into the water. So she goes and she decides she going to go cliff diving into the water. Again, you're not going to pull this man from wherever he is because he done left. So she jumps into the water. And Victoria ran Victoria into the water too. So she's in the water with her. And so when Bella seen her, she tried to all of a sudden knock herself out. So Jacob jumped into the water and pulled her out. He was like, breathe, breathe, trying to make her breathe and all this stuff. And so he said, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she was like, I was trying to see something. And so he said, I gotta go over to Harris. And so he was like, what? She said, what happened? And she said, he said he didn't make it. And so they go, he take her home, and he's like, I just wanted to tell you, like, now that you know that I'm a werewolf, would have changed things. Look at how Emily did. Look at how, Sam did Emily. He accidentally scratched her in the face. He didn't mean no harm. And so look at how he did. Look at how he did her. And she was like, you're good, and you'll never do that. You're good and stuff like that. And so they go, so finally they go home. He was like, so what if I would have took my time building the motorcycles? And she said, you would have just took your time. He said, what if I couldn't have fixed it? She said, then we would have found a different project, something else to do. So basically she was just really trying to just spend time with Jacob. She really was just trying to build a relationship with Jacob, not a romantic relationship with Jacob, but just a friendship. Because the girl's heart was with Edward, Okay, so then, so he take her home, and he was like, the werewolves are here. But I got ahead of myself. So when they went to the movies, Mike had ticked them off, right? Because he got sick, and then, he was like, so Jacob had got irritated with him, and he was like, do you want me to put you in the hospital? If you sick, go to the doctor and all this stuff. So Jacob had got ticked off, because why are you even here? Because, why are you here? And so Jacob leave. And so during this time is when he was turned into the werewolf. That werewolf gene had kicked in. So Bella calling, and she's apologizing, and she was like, please pick up the phone. So she goes over to his house to talk to him, and his dad was like, he's not here. And she walked past him, and Jacob in there asleep. Okay, so she wake up Jacob, and then here comes Sam and Paul and all them. So she runs outside, and she's like, what did you do to him? What did you do? What did you do? And he was like, what do you mean? What do we do? What do we do? And she slapped Paul. And so Sam was like, Bella, step back. Because now Paul upset, and now he's about to turn into this wolf. And Jacob run out and he turns into the world. He turns into a wolf too, because now he got to protect Bella, because, it was a whole big mess. So she was like, Jake, run, because it was a mess. So now Jake and Paul fighting, they two wolves fighting. And so they fighting. I mean, they fight like two dudes. They fighting and snapping each other and all this stuff. So finally, they jump in the truck and take Bella. They was like, take Bella with you. They go to Sam's house, right? So everybody's over there, and so Jacob get Bella. He comes, and he tell her to come outside, and they go walking. And so she was like, so you a wolf? And he was like, yeah. She was like, but y'all kill people. Yeah. He was like, oh, am I the wrong monster for you? Am I the wrong monster? Because, she didn't have a problem ever being a vampire. And so he was like, y'all kill people. Yeah. He said, we don't kill nobody, but we don't kill nobody. The only reason we are here is because for the vampires. And the more that they come, the more the gene is getting activated, because we got to protect ourselves. So what do you mean? Am I the wrong monster? You're a hypocrite. And so she was like, no, you guys kill people. And she was like, they don't kill nobody. They don't. Like she was defending them. They don't kill nobody. Y'all kill people. He said, the only people we kill or your precious Cullens. Those who we kill. So they were just walking and whatever. And so Jacob, Yeah, they was walking because I was about to say something, but that's in Eclipse. So yeah, so they was walking and stuff, and then he taking her home, and he said werewolves are here. I smell them. And she looked and she said, "That's Carlisle's car." So she jumping out the car, and he was like, "It's a trick, it's a trick." And honey, she wasn't trying to hear it. She ran, and he was like, "Don't wait." And so she said, "Don't draw no line here, Jacob. Just don't. Just, she didn't even care. She saw Carlisle's car, even if she was running into danger, she did not even care. She did not even care. So Alice show up. She go into the house, and Alice is there. She was like, "How are you alive? I saw you jump off a cliff. Why would you do that?" She said, "Oh, that was recreation. That was cliff diving. That was recreation." So they sitting, because he was like, "I am not going to be a part of this," but he didn't leave. He came to the back, and she said, "I thought you couldn't be here." And so he said, "I had to make sure you were safe." And so he wanted to talk to her. So Alice was like, "I will step outside while you wrap this up." She said, "Wait a minute, you're not leaving, or?" He was like, "No." She said, "No, I'm not leaving." And so she said, "You are gonna come back, right?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll come back." So when he said that, Alice left. She said, "I'll be back soon as you put the dog out." She called him a dog. Soon you put the dog out, I'll come back in as soon as you put the dog out. So he said, "How many are there and how long are they staying?" And so she was like, "It's only Alice, and they can stay as long as they want." All of a sudden, she had this attitude, this nasty attitude. It's only Alice, and they can stay as long and she can stay as long as she wants to. And so, so he was talking to her, whatever, and the phone ring out. Jake picked up the phone, and he was like, "She's not here. He's not here. He's gone to plan a funeral." So he was thinking that. So Edward was on the other end of the call thinking that her dad was out planning her funeral. So he done made it in his mind that he finna go to the Volturi and tell them to just kill him because he don't want to live no more. And the thing is, he gave Bella the phone, and so Alice run back in the house. She like, "That was Elwood." And she was like, "Why didn't you give me the phone? Why didn't you give me the phone?" And so he said, he didn't ask for you. She said, "I don't care." And so now they got to go to Italy because he's finna go tell them to kill him. So she was like, so he had told her, he said, "Don't leave, brother, don't leave." She said, "I'm not going to let him go and kill himself thinking I'm dead and I'm not dead." And he was like, don't leave, stay because I'm asking you to stay." She was like, "Bye, Jake." So now they gone to Italy because he was going to tell them to kill him. And so she said he will see me coming, so he won't see you coming. So she running and running. Finally, he was about to step out and expose himself to the humans, and she pushed him back. Bella pushed him back in. So she pushed him back in. He talking about heaven. And so she was like, "Open your eyes, open your eyes." And so she said, he said, "I need you to see me. I need you to see that I was alive. I needed you to see me. I didn't want you to come and make a mistake like this, thinking I was dead and stuff." And so now here come the Volturi. They done sent Jane down there. She was like, "Arrow wants to see you," because he had already went to Arrow and told him, but Arrow had denied him. And so Arrow said, your skills, you got too many good skills for us to kill you. So no, we're going to deny it. So he goes, and now Arrow wants to see him. And so he was like, "No rules have been broken." And so he had Felix. So him and Felix are fighting because he had told Felix, like, they had seen Bella. He had when he couldn't read her mind. He felt like Bella was a threat. And then Alice was like, "No, she's gonna be one of us." And he, because they was gonna kill her too. And so Felix, so Edward is trying to protect her, and Felix is just slaughtering him all over the place. He's just picking him up and throwing him down and breaking stuff. And Edward is coming, he'll die and come back alive, and then he'll, fight. Get away from her, and all this stuff. And then finally, he was about to break his neck. And she was like, no, kill me, not him, kill me. And so, when he saw that she was going to be one of them, because he read Arrow, he gets your hand and he can see whatever you're thinking, your thoughts, all of that from your hand. So when he see that, he saw them running. And he saw that her eyes was the same eyes that they have, so he knew that meant she was going to be a vampire. So he was like, go, make your plans, go. So he was telling them, go on and go. But because that's the only way she going to live is if she going to become a vampire. Go. And like she was a shield, right? So they couldn't read her mind. They couldn't do any of it. So he was telling them to go. So then, Elwood, so they came back home, and Elwood had went to her house because her dad had told her he cannot come over here no more. And so he came through the window, and her dad said he could not set foot in my house no more. And he said, well, I'm not totally, going against his rules. I came in through the window. And so, she was like, well, when you change me, he said, there's ways around it. She said, no. So she jumped up, put her clothes on to go over to his people's house, because she like, I want to be changed to a vampire. I'm not trying to hear what Elwood talking about. Who gonna change me? So, because Alice had said she'll do it herself, And so everybody took a vote. Family took a vote, and he was like, why y'all doing this to me? And so his dad was like, you chose to be with a human. And I would not lose my son. So if I'm not going to lose my son, then the next step is she has to be turned into a vampire. It is what it is at the end of the day. So they was leaving, and he saw Jake. So him and Jake decided to have. So him and Jake they had a conversation, because he said Jake wants to talk to him. So Jake wants to talk to her. So her and Jake was talking, because mind you, when Elwood had trolled off or whatever, Jake was right there. He was there protecting her. He was there trying to spend time with her. He was there, but he was there trying to spend time with her and get to know her better and all this stuff. She was all for it, but she was still in love with Elwood. She did not want Jake like she wanted Elwood ever. She never wanted to do that. Yes, she loved Jake, but she loved Jake as a good friend. She did not love Jake as a boyfriend. And so when he was like, he just trying to make sure you still alive, and he said, get out of my head. And so, she said, well, we're gonna wait till I, turn 18. And so Jake got upset. He was like, you haven't even lived. Why would you do that? You haven't even lived. We would destroy you. Why would you want to be a vampire when you know that we are mortal enemies? Like, why would you do that? That's stupid. So he was like, I won't let you. So he was like, so Elwood said, bye, Jake. So now him and Jake at a standoff, because he done pushed Jake. He grabbed Bella. Okay, Jake grabbed Bella's arm, and Elwood pushed Jake back, and now he done transformed from Jake to the werewolf, and now they're about to go at it. So Bella jumped in the middle. You can't kill each other without killing me. Stop. And so she looked Jake run off, and he said, so Elwood said, I'll marry you on 2 conditions. She said, okay, what? He said, under 1 condition. She said, what? What's the condition? He said, oh, you're so stubborn. Why don't you wait 3 years? And she was like, no. He said, oh, the only way I change you is if you marry me. And so then it went off. That's how it went off. He told her she must marry him in order for him to do it. Because they told the Volturi, Alice told the Volturi that she would do it. She would do it herself. And so Edward told her he would do it himself if she married him, and that's how New Moon went off. So that was my review on New Moon. That was a pretty lengthy review. But the movie, as you go through the saga, though, it gets longer and longer and longer. Twilight was lengthy too, because there's so many moving pieces. So in this whole saga, you got so many moving pieces, and so you have different elements come in, and different people. So and as each saga continues, more people are added into it, and so yeah. So that was New Moon. This movie came out in 2009, and basically the same characters except a few other ones are added in. The main characters are the main characters. You know, by the end, by 4 and 5, you know, of course you have Kate and her mom, Tanya and Irina. But other than that, and then you have a few other people, but it's the main characters throughout. It's the main characters throughout the whole saga. So this was New Moon. I already did Twilight, and the next one is Eclipse, but I don't know if I'm gonna get to Eclipse today. It's Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, and Breaking Dawn Part 2. So again, this is my 2 cents. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for listening to my review. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any movies, TV shows, or books that you would like for me to review, drop them down in the comments, and I will go and do some research and see if I can find them. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I will see you all in my next review. Bye.